This is my 1992 VFR750F. It's off for some tender loving care at TP Smart Repairs in Aylesbury because, well, this bike is used. So, stone chip, stone chip, stone chip, stone chip, repaired stone chip, paint off, paint off, paint off, paint off, paint off. Yes, it's going in to get painted. So, as I said, TP Smart Repairs in Aylesbury. Damn fine friend of mine called Tommy, who owns the place. And I'm going to take you all through the process, starting off on this glorious Saturday foggy morning in Aylesbury. I will give you all of the links and the descriptions and below. So if you want any good paintwork done, bodywork, anything, cars, motorcycles, Tommy's your man. We'll meet him, we'll go through the process, and I'll let him tell you about the company. But absolutely superb quality. So this is what they do. Am I fogged over? Right, fella. Should I just grab my? I'll grab my phone and keys. Yep.
Will yours be a lot heavier than lighter?
Hello, Dolly. So, Kev is in the oven, and what he's setting up all the cameras. But what Kevin doesn't know, Kev is going to be wearing this today. One of our hoodies that we have. If you have seen some of our videos, some of the guys have red down the side. This is grey. So anyone with grey usually is in the. I am too. I'm having a conversation with myself out here. So what we tend to do is, if customers come in and they want to talk to someone on the mechanical side, we have red just to determine which is which for customers. But yeah, Kev is in the paint shop today, so we are going to hand it over to him. So as you can see, Kev is loving life. He's been setting up that camera over there.
Got one there. Let's just check that. It's looking good. It's looking superb.
And we have that one right over there.
And that is also looking superb. As you are, Tommy.
So before we do anything else, you have to be matching. I've just shown them off camera.
Wow.
The camera, the jacket, or the jumper, sorry, that you are going to be wearing today.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow. Height of fashion.
Yeah.
Colour matching.
But as you can see, we're working on a Honda today. Kev has decided to wear Triumph. Don't know why, but hey ho, we all have our problems. So yeah, while Kev is doing a bit of a striptease over there, we are going to explain what we're going to do today. As you can see, the bike has lived in Italy for a bit of its life. The sun has damaged a bit of the paintwork on it, made it very brittle, so that's why there's a lot of stone chips on it. So to get rid of all of that today, we are going to take the screen off. Hopefully it all comes off. Take these two mirrors off, and that is a little process of peeling this little rubber back, taking the two 10mm off on either side. You look rather nice, rather dashing, shall I say, and your bum looks quite nice as well.
Doesn't make my bum look fat.
But come here. Bit of masking tape. So that's a little bit of the process, and then we're going to sand it all down. We will go through all the sanding grits that we will be using, and the process of all of that.
Okay.
We're going to leave the front nose cone on the bike, just because the amount of stuff that we will have to take off, and plus we want to try and get out on the bike this afternoon.
Yes, we have a date.
Yes,
Out
and
on your
hopefully
bike.
Mike might be allowed out. It all depends on Amy, if she lets him out. And the other process that I didn't mention is we have what's called a spectrometer, and that is going to colour match the exact same colour that's on the bike. So it doesn't matter if we got the colour code, it might be a little bit different, but we can actually
I
colour
would
match
also
it.
say after 30 years and 15 years in the sun of Italy, it would have degraded anything factory-based anyway, wouldn't it?
So, well, Kev's hair has kind of done the same. The UV protection has kind of damaged that. From a dark ginger to a strawberry blonde now. And then hopefully we should have this all tidied up this afternoon. We may actually end up taking off these two little side panels because there's only a couple of screws on them. Gives it a little bit easier access and stuff like that. So right, let's get into it.
Let's get cracking.
I have a 10mm here, and we will start.
What can I do?
Well, I'm going to do this side, and you're going to do the other side. Bit nervous.
Outside?
There you go.
There we go, okay. You're touching motorbike royalty here, you know that.
I know that. The funny thing is, I have a VFR as well.
You do have a VFR. You have a rather... That's your camera.
That's my camera. So a little bit of...
Tell us about your one.
So my VF4 I've actually had since I was 16. 11,000 kilometers on it. It is an Italian, a Japanese import bike. I've had that since I was 16. It hasn't been on the road since I moved to the UK, so that's 11 years. But we will show you a couple of bits and pieces that I've done to it. It is in the middle of a restoration project. So I'm going to shoot out quickly, get a Phillips screwdriver for this, get Torx and an Allen key for that, and another Phillips screwdriver for the side panels.
And for those that didn't quite catch on, his isn't a VFR750.
Oh yeah.
It's the 400.
It's a little NC30.
It's a little NC30.
So we're going to be back in a moment.
Okay. This is officially a classic, isn't it? 30 years old.
This one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What year is this?
92.
Yeah, so my VF4 is a 91.
90. Wow.
But the what we are looking forward to is actually getting the two VF4s all done and actually taking them out to a classic VF4 show.
Oh, that would be just like VFR porn, basically.
You can see how nice and easy they are to pop off.
They are.
So I'm going to leave that one to Kev.
Yes.
I'm going to put this one over here because we will end up scanning this part here. And by the way, I hope everyone can hear me and understand me.
Well, understand you's another thing, but hear you, yes.
So I'll say that very lightly. Because this is the first time I've actually ever used a microphone. Because I've also done a few videos that I'm still waiting to get time to actually make them into a bit of a YouTube series. But it's like everything with work and being out on the bikes on a Sunday with him. But yeah, I've rebuilt GSX-R750 over Christmas, and I've documented the whole thing. Did you get the one in the middle?
So 1, 2. I think I've.
Oh,
There we go.
there you go.
There we go.
Perfect. I'll take that.
Because. Oh, there's one gone there. I'm so glad you've got this filtery thing under here, whatever it is. What is it below here? So explain this whole process here. You've got a grill here.
So what actually happens is, I'm going to turn this up here. So we have a floor, well, a roof ceiling, suspended ceiling, where fresh hot air comes through here, and then it goes through into like another floor pit that is covered with the grills and a fiberglass filter. So any of the toxins and stuff like that we're actually painting in here goes straight through that, gets filtered in, and you can see it actually gets covered up in all that. These actually come in green or blue. It all depends on what filter you use. It's a 3-layer, so it's like a fiberglass filter on top, a foam, what's on the ceiling underneath that, and then that just stops all the toxins and stuff like that, the VOCs, going into the atmosphere.
It also stopped me losing my very expensive bolt screw thingamajig.
It sure does. So we have screen off, side fairings off. What we're going to do now is tackle this little bit here. And as you can see, Kev, in his lovely painting experience, has done a bit of paint work himself. But we won't judge him on that.
But we will also explain how all of this bit of paint here came off. Right, there's a guy called Tommy.
You might know him.
You might know him. We were on track and we taped up the headlights. And before Tommy's bike broke down, that's another story for another time. We put duct tape a gaffer across here, and when I pulled it off, it took most of the paint.
It took 30 years of history with it.
However, we'd already planned to get this done because obviously you can't see here so much here. I'll put some detailed shots in afterwards. There are stone chips everywhere. They've been touched up by myself, just because it's used.
Yeah,
it's a classic bike, but it's used.
So if you pop that into that little box over there.
Yeah.
But we have a clip that has...
Oh, those things. These are horrible. I had to buy replacements every time they break.
I have some there anyways.
Yeah.
But...
typical, if you just break it out, if not, but it might...
You can see plastic grommets, once it's stuck in there for any bit of time at all, it doesn't want to move. So we'll replace that one.
Yep.
That's for Kevin. And now this trim, there's one clip in here.
Tommy's a bit of a track god, so he's used to taking fairing on and off.
I wouldn't say track god.
Yeah, you're a track god.
There is actually, the last day when we were at Cadwell Park, there's actually a really cool video of me with the supermoto coming across the mountaintop.
Yeah.
I actually really like that photo. Even though it was my first time there, I was rather nervous, to be honest, because it was a wet day.
Don't make it wet.
Yeah, it was a wet day, and I've never been there before, and just took our time, to be honest. So we have...
That's what it's about, isn't it?
Oh, this one here.
So we finally got this little piece off. Still doesn't want to come off. There we go.
But I am looking forward to, at some point though, we're going to get the group over to Ireland.
Yes.
What part of Ireland are you from?
Originally from the west of Ireland. So there's not an awful lot where I am actually from. Actually, do you know what? We might end up just taking this whole piece off.
Well, the lights are attached to it, so...
So we can just disconnect. So let's see what's holding this on this side.
So we've got...
one little connector here.
Yeah.
That's that one off. And then we have...
So we've got...
Oh.
Yeah.
Should... because there's two little screws here that I don't think will come out very easily.
So obviously we've got the connector straight through to the lights here, so we'd have to remove those there.
Yep.
When people bring bike parts to you, Tommy, do they usually bring them, do they sometimes bring the whole bike, or do they
Yeah,
usually
so it
bring
all,
you just a fairing?
it all varies. We do quite a lot of race bike bits. So the race bikes, it all depends on the customer, to be honest. If someone's doing a prep build for someone, they tend to bring the bike as one. So once they've finished with the build, then we'll strip the whole bike for them, put it all back together, give the bike a full polish, and then it's done. Otherwise, people tend to bring the bike bits singly to us. So we have taken it off. I think it might be best that we have. At least we can prep it all and do it all right.
So this is part 2 of the video, which is...
This is the paint prep. So what we're going to do, all this nice road rash that we have here on these 3 panels, there is the V panel that we found out. We are going to hit it with 320 grit sandpaper on an interface pad, so it's just nice and foamy, on the Mirka full electric sander with a dust extraction. So if you do hear a little bit of dust extraction, I do apologise. It is just all for health and safety reasons why we have dust extraction, and that's piped throughout all of our workshop, and that goes through this little white piece here, and it's piped all the way around over to a big unit just over there. And Dolly wants to get on the camera. So I'm just going to pop this onto here, turn this on, and ready to go. So I'm going to start, and Kev's going to be walking around having a look.
Yeah.
What we're just trying to do is smooth out all of the stone chips and stuff like that, because when we go to paint, at least it's nice and smooth instead of like a dip and a concave effect. So it's called blending out the chips, and that's all we're initially doing with the 320 grit. I do apologise for the sound if you can't hear me over the sander, because it's so close to me. It may give off like a vibration noise and stuff like that. It's actually not that loud when you're beside it. So that's another stone chip gone. We just have another little bit just over here. Another bit in the edge. And to get that, put a little bit of force in behind that, and that will just come out like that. Once we get these to a state where we've all the stone chips out, we go through a process of scotching it all up. So there's a couple of different grits that you can get. You get a red one, which is very, very coarse, and then you'll get a grey one, which is very, very fine. It's the equivalent. The grey one's equivalent to like 1,000 grit. The red one, you could roughly say it's about half that, so it's about a 500 grit. And what they technically really are is like a Brillo pad, and you use that just to scuff up all where the nice and shiny paint is, just so it's all matte, and you get rid of all that shine, so all the fresh paint can actually stick to it. So we're just going to flip this over, do this back side. I hope you're actually able to see all this. So this is pretty much all done now with the 320.
Okay.
I'm going to change over now to a 500 disc pad.
So this is what? This is
320 grit. So that's a new one. And then this is the 500 one.
so you're getting coarser.
Yeah, finer. So that's coarser. So that's 320 grits per inch. And then this is a 500 grit one. It just gets finer and finer and finer, because what happens is, you can hear Joe making noise in the background. He's actually prepping. You can actually get some footage of that, of some carbon fibre prep.
Yep.
So this is 500 grit. So what happens is this actually vibrates. I don't know if this can actually see. It does it actually goes like this, like little pigtails. So what we're doing now, we're actually reducing all the pigtails through each process. So it just looks like we're doing the same thing again, which technically we are, but we're actually getting...
Why use two? Why not just use that one from the start?
So, because there was quite a few dips and scratches and heavy scratches and heavy stone chips in here, it's better to use a coarser grit to get it out.
Yeah.
And now we're just smoothing out all that process. So it's like an onion. So you can see it's been original plastic, painted once, and painted a second time. And now we have an Irishman putting the third coat on, a third and final coat, hopefully.
Yes, yes. I'll put subtitles in that, for that. We don't know this song either. I'll just give him some close-ups like that.
Because Kev.
Actually, that's cool colour. Can we just leave it like that? Yeah, that's camouflaged.
So
what's happening now?
Kev has been edging to do and get involved in this. I'm just going to quickly do a bit of this. And Kev, if you want to go to the second drawer up on the left-hand side of that toolbox, in there, there's some gloves.
Okay. Am I going to carry on with that while you get cracking on that?
So what you can do now
Yep.
is get some of this red scotch that we previously mentioned,
Yep.
and where you see all the edges, we're just
Yep.
going to go around it all. Or you can cover the whole panel, it's not a problem.
Yep.
Into all your crevices like this. So it's
Getting as far as you can into all the crevices, around the edges.
all around
big
the
things
edges.
like that there.
And if it's a bit rough and you can't get rid of it,
Yep.
come over, grab the Gold Flex,
And get rid of that.
get rid of that hard edge.
Okay.
Alrighty?
Yep. Sure.
So if we swap positions, and we have side fare number 2 to do.
Excellent.
So we just have a few little bits after they're all wiped down on what to check and whatnot. He's just doing the last little bit there. We have this one here. While Ben is actually doing that, we are going to go next door. As you can see, we are in a different oven. We're going to go next door and we're going to get the colour code, do the spectrometer on the bike itself, and show everyone how we're actually going to mix up the paint on the paint system. Alright? So we'll shoot next door, grab the spectrometer, and get mixing paint.